Hi, I'm Joshua Popenoe. Welcome to my 4 Elements pronunciation practice. This is the first part of a live weekly Zoom class I give for my online members. I present an interesting sentence or quote and then use the 4 elements as a framework to illustrate every aspect of pronunciation, making it easy to identify and focus on what needs to improve. The 4 elements are vowels, consonants, rhythm, and connection. Vowels are open sounds. The mouth is always open, never blocked, so nothing is touching inside the mouth. Consonants are closed sounds. There's some kind of contact using the tongue, lips, or teeth. Rhythm is made from syllables. Every vowel and the consonants surrounding it make a syllable. It's the smallest unit of speech that makes a word or joins together with other syllables to make longer words. Syllables are large and stressed or smaller and unstressed. Rhythm happens when you connect stressed and unstressed syllables together. Connection is about how to connect words smoothly in a natural flow, and phrasing is the timing and intonation that joins them together, giving them specific meaning. IPA stands for International Phonetic Alphabet, which has a unique symbol for every sound in English. Remember these words: vowel, consonant, rhythm, syllable, connection, phrasing, and IPA. This introduction was pre-recorded for perfection. The rest of the video will be live and spontaneous, so please enjoy the imperfection of a 100% non-AI human being, me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to today's pronunciation practice sentence. The sentence we're doing today is a great sentence by Theodore Roosevelt, who was an American president at the beginning of the 20th century. He served 2 terms from 1900 to 1908, 8 years. And he had a lot of good things to say about this topic, about bravery and courage. So today's quote is, "Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength." It means when you don't have the strength, but you keep going on. That is the real bravery. Instead of just pushing on with your strength and power, it's pushing on when you don't have the strength. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. So as usual, I'm going to go from the macro to the micro, starting with rhythm and phrasing. Then I'm going to go on to vowels, then consonants, and then connection, and then we will practice for a few minutes. So starting with rhythm. Remember, English is made up of big syllables and little syllables. And when you put them together, they create what I call a rhythm frame. In other words, they're not just separate words. There's some integration that puts them together to make a flowing phrase or sentence. So the lavender marks, bigger ones, right? Those are the stressed syllables in this sentence. The way I like to practice is tapping with your finger. It's very useful because your whole body learns about rhythm instead of just doing it with your brain. So if you'd like to tap with me, we're going to tap on the lavender stressed syllable marks, and they keep a steady rhythm. Not steady like a robot, but steady. So what's important to know is, even though there are little ones between, like courage is not 2 little ones, and then having the strength, and then not and having are close together, the steady, even beat of the frame keeps going. So it's like this: courage is not having the strength to go on. Courage is not having the strength to go on. If there are no little ones, it might be slightly different, but the point is you have a rhythm frame that keeps you moving smoothly, just like what I did. So the next phrase, it's a short one. Phrases are defined by the line, curved line on top. It is going on. So the little ones were up. We're going to hit only the stress ones. It is going on. And I see I left out a little one for going in between. It is going on. Then the last phrase, again, starts with two unstressed. So we're raised, we're waiting when you don't have the strength. When you don't have the strength. Let's go through all of them, but let's talk about the phrasing first. And again, remember, I missed a little small one there. A long sentence is generally made up of phrases, shorter phrases. And the way we know about the phrases, the way we hear them is through the melody and the moving up and the down. Listen how that is. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. So the first phrase, courage is not having the strength to go on. The second one, it is going on when you don't have the strength. So it's clear in the melody of my voice how we go, courage is not having the strength to go on. There's a little pause. You can hear a kind of a goes down a little. It is going on. That's another phrase. I could go, it is going on when you don't have the strength. But part of the reason we have phrases is to give the listener time to sort of get each phrase and then put the whole thing together. So let's do it. Do it after me. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. So rhythm and phrasing. Next, I want to go to the vowels, and I want to talk about the big stressed vowels. Vowels are open sounds, right? Big or small, vowel is an open sound. There's no contact in the mouth. It's the big stressed vowels that have to be pronounced correctly. Little vowels are so small and fast that there's not a lot of movement or having to shape, because when you move your tongue, lips, and jaw to make a shape, it takes time. And in the rhythm of natural English, the little syllables are very fast. So we have what's called schwa, which is this here, which is a tiny, tiny little syllable. It takes no shaping. Schwa is in the middle of the mouth. Like the word to becomes ta, ta, ta. So there's no shaping. Shaping takes time. So we're going to go through the vowels. These are the things that you have to pay attention to. Courage or cur. Cur. You've got the R there. You're making The next one is ah, not, ah, open middle vowel. Then we have having. That is a front open vowel. Ah is the middle. Is open. All of these vowels, you can learn the techniques in my video courses. So and then open center, open front, and then strength, strength. Then we have go on. Again, we're just focusing on the stressed syllables underneath the lavender marks. Go on. So O is a diphthong, meaning we're changing the sound as we speak. O. And on, same thing as not. Open. It's called a pure vowel when it doesn't change. Open central vowel. Then we have it is going. O again. And then on again. Just relaxed, open. Then the next one is don't. Don't is O again. Same as in going. Don't. Oh. You can see how my lips move, right? Pushing them forward, and then the lips come into a small circle. Oh. Go. Going. Don't. And then have is the front open vowel again. Have. And then strength. So courage. Not. Have. Having. Strength. Go. On. Again. Going. Again. On again. And don't. Have. front open vowel, and strength. So you can see these are the ones that have to be pronounced clearly and correctly. If I say courage is not having the strength to go on, it is going on when you don't have the strength. These are the ones that have to be pronounced correctly. The other ones are very small. They move in between, so they don't take that kind of precision because there's no time to really make those shapes. Okay, let's talk about the consonants now. Courage sounds like K. And in the IPA phonetic alphabet, it is written as K. You can see below the word, I've written the phonetic spelling. Phonetic means the sound. So courage. Then you have R, courage, J. That's a tricky consonant. It's made of D, D, and J. Coming together, J, J. That sound can also be used for the letter J. My name, Josh, J, J. Courage. Then is spelled IS, but the consonant is really Z, is, right? Z is voiced. It's a pair. S is unvoiced, same physical shape, physical technique. One is voiced, one is not voiced. Most English consonants come in pairs, voiced and unvoiced. So in this case, S, unvoiced, that's the spelling, but the pronunciation is voiced. Is. Then we go to not, starting with N. N is touching, tip of the tongue, on the roof of the mouth, in front on the tooth ridge, to be precise, which is where the teeth come into the gum at the jaw, kind of a raised area. Na, 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 na. And then the word ends with T, ta, 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 which is the same place we're touching. But N is a nasal consonant. The nose is open. Na, na, na. And then we have T. Not having. H, that's a fricative voice. Having. V is also fricative. Fricative means friction. Having. Having. Made by top of the teeth, bottom lip. Having. NG is the back, is another nasal consonant. Back of the tongue is coming up and the nose opens so that the breath and voice flows through the nose because the mouth is blocked. Like sing, having. And we have the. The is also fricative again. This is the tongue doing a very light kind of vibration against the back of the teeth or the gum. Kind of depends what's before or after exactly where you touch. You don't have to touch in an exact spot each time. It depends how you're moving. But you need to have close enough that you can push the breath through so it vibrates. The. Okay, the next one, strength, ST. The is TH voiced, is unvoiced. Strength. And then we have strength to go on. T again, that's the schwa. We don't say to because that takes too long. We say strength to go on. Go on. Okay, so O, g, g, g. We have G again, g. And an on, N. Make sure the N that you touch, N. For some foreign language speakers, N is easy at the beginning, na, 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 na. But N at the end, you don't make a strong connection. I call it a hard N. N. So go on. Then we have it is. We're going to connect that later. I'll talk about it. It is. T again and Z again. Going. Go. G. G again. And G again. We had having. Going. Nasal consonant. Going on. N again. When. Hard N. WH. We don't hear an H. Some dictionaries will say when and put like an H sound in there. But people don't really talk like that. They say when, not when. So you can see in the IPA, there's no H. When, right? When you, why? Yeah, 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 yeah. Tongue is coming up. Here, close. Yeah, yeah. It's a glide. Why is it called a glide consonant? Because the tongue comes up, it doesn't touch, it glides. Yeah, yeah. In this case, you. Then don't, D, da da da. D and T are pairs. T is unvoiced, D is voiced. T, 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 da da da. Don't, closing the vowel over to N and T. Have, H again, V again, have, the, voice TH again, and strength again. All right, let's talk about connection now, because some of the things I just talked about, the consonants and the vowels, and if you just make the consonant or the vowel, in some cases, it's not going to work because for connecting, things get smaller, things work in different ways. So let's talk about that. Courage is connection, really important. We generally connect our words in a flow. Hear that? I'm connecting my words in a flow. I am not breaking, connecting my words in a flow. It's all flow of the voice stream. Courage is not. So when I put the blue line under courage is, that's to remind you to continue your voice and connect the word. Courage is. Courage is. Then we have courage is not having. Notice N-O-T, T you learn, but I am not releasing it. I'm making what is called a T stop. When T comes at the end of a syllable or a one syllable word, followed by a consonant, we do not release. We stop. But the stop is very abrupt, and so we know it's a T. So I'm saying not having. You hear how I'm stopping? Not having. I'm not going on. Not having. So that's called a T stop. The red line there is how I indicate the T stop. Not having the, again, keep connecting. Having, you have the NG, voice continues into the, having the strength. Strength. Some people say strength. They'll go just to an N. They won't have the NG, but whatever you want to do. Strength. Having the strength to go on. So, as I mentioned before, two is using the schwa, the small vowel. So two becomes t. Having the strength to go on. The strength to go on. And we hear it, of course, as two, which is what it is, but I'm not actually saying two. I'm not pronouncing that full vowel. Otherwise, it would take too long and you would lose the natural rhythm. Strength to go on. Strength to go on. You hear how small it is? Strength to go. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Then we have go on. Go ends in a vowel. On begins with a vowel. So we use what I call the W technique to connect them. So we're not going go on, go on. We want to be smooth and connected. So go on. Oh, look, the W here got moved over there. Oh, another little boo-boo. You know that term? A boo-boo. That's what kids say. Make a mistake. I made a boo-boo. Okay, so the W should be under there and go on. So W, go, the diphthong ends with the lips coming together close to the shape of a W. Go. Whoa, 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 whoa. And so we glide. I said that Y is a glide consonant and W is the other glide consonant. So we glide through the W, go on. Go on, right? First vowel is O, we have the W, and then we open to Ah. Go on. We don't have to break, we glide through. Go on. Go on. End of the phrase. Then it is going on. So it is another T. We had not having, that was a T stop, because as I said, T was followed by a consonant, not having. In this case, it's followed by a vowel. So we make what's called a T tap. There's two of them, T stop, T tap. T tap is when you have a vowel, T followed by another vowel. And so there, it's a very light, smooth flowing through. It is. It is. Right? Not it is. It's not hard. So your tongue kind of brushes lightly. It is. It is. I say, what a nice day. What a. Get a job. Or even in a word, see you later. Not later. See you later. So it is. Then we have going on again. We had go on. Now going on. Same thing. Keep connecting. Going is the nasal consonant at the back, and then you open going on. Careful. There's a timing between the opening the nose and releasing. Hear how smooth when I say going on. We don't want going gone, right? You hear there, I made like a hard G in there. That's not correct. Going on. And going on when you don't T-stop again. Don't have, right? Don't have. T-stop because, like above, not having. T followed by a consonant. Here we have don't ending with T followed by H again. Don't have the strength. Don't have the strength. Okay, so I've given you a lot of information there. Vowels, consonants, rhythm, connection, how they all work together to speak natural sounding English. So I wanted to show you how it works. You can listen to this video again, and it's on YouTube. Listen as much as you want and practice the individual things. And all the techniques for all of the consonants, vowels, all of this in rhythm are on my video course. Over 100 videos with every technique you need in detail. So this is just an introduction, and I hope this is helpful for you. Let's practice once, okay? Maybe twice. Repeat after me. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. One more time. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. All right. Thank you very much. I'll be sending these videos out again. After this, I'm going to be working with the group individually, and we're going to practice all these things. So hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again. Bye. I hope that was helpful. Now I'll be working with my members for the rest of the live session. If you'd like to join us, work with me, and continue learning the 4 elements in detail, along with every technique you need to improve your English pronunciation, come join my online pronunciation membership, which includes over 100 videos teaching every technique you need for good English pronunciation. For more information, go to popenoemethod.com. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.